Hey guys, it's Matt. Welcome to SpeedTutor. So I've got a tutorial all about creating a blur within Unity, whether this is UI or a full screen blur. So you can adjust the level of blurriness. We can create settings on the level. We can adjust things like saturation, even do things like the adjustment of the tint against our scene. And what I'll do is I'll show you how to create this in the shader graph, and we'll use some of Unity's great UGUI shader graphs that they've created recently, which I have a full video on if you're interested. So if you do like this video, be sure to throw a like on it and make sure you're subscribed, and do check out my Patreon too, to get over 230 different scripts, assets and projects you cannot find anywhere else. So to get started on Unity 6 with a brand new scene, first of all we need to head to Package Manager. If you need to get there, you can go to Window and you can head to Package Manager. You can look on the left hand side and you can see In Project, and you can scroll on down in that list in the packages and find Shader Graph. On the right, just a little bit, there will be a Samples tab, and you can see UGUI shaders, which you will need to import because it comes with a bunch of subgraphs and things already created by the team at Unity for URP and HDRP, so it's a great way to start and create loads of cool things. From there, what we're going to do is right-click in the project panel, choose Create, and choose a shader graph for URP, and then what I'm going to do is choose a Canvas shader graph, because we're going to use this specifically for UI. I'm going to name this Screen Blur, and open that up in shader graph. I'm going to keep the initial node just to the right hand side, is we're going to right click and create a new node, and this is going to be our using the scene color blurred node. This is a custom subgraph that Unity have made which samples the screen for us, and we need various parameters, or we want to be able to control this within our shader to make it happen. On this left hand side, I'm going to press the plus and choose a float that I want. And I'm going to name one called _blur. Then on the right hand side in the graph inspector, leave this on default, and we'll just have the normal value or the initial value at 0.06, so something really low. We'll add a new float, and I'm going to name this blur cycles, leave it on default, and we're going to set the default value to 3 because this is something that we use to sample the screen. I'm going to have another float, _blur samples per cycle, because that is exactly what it's named in the subgraph, and just have the default value at 2. Then we'll have one last float value, which is the blur multiplier, and I'll have this as a slider with the default value at 1, the min at 0, and the max at 1, because this can be a good way to set it on and off if you want it. So we can plug these straight in, so we can have the blur into the blurriness, the blur cycles into the cycles, the blurs per cycle into there, and the multiplier into the point that we have here. And then what we could do before adding any customization to it, we can just plug that straight into our base color, and we can save that out. Then what we need to do, we need to create this material, so we can right click in the project panel, choose create, and choose material. I'm just going to name this Screen Blur Matte. And then in the shader drop down in the inspector, we want to drop down to shader graphs. We want to choose Screen Blur like we've already created, and we get our basic parameters here, which we can edit more easily. Now, as you can see in my scene here in the game view, I've added a canvas in an image, and as you can see, the image takes up the entirety of the screen. But what I'm going to do is drag the Screen Blur Matte into the material slot here, and you can already see the blur that's happened to the screen. Obviously, if you remove the image component, you can see that it's not quite as blurred. And you can remove the multiplier to reduce it. You can increase the level of blurriness that we've got there. One thing to remember about this shader, the blur cycles and the samples per cycle are a costly operation to do, so it's good to keep these as low as possible. Obviously, if you reduce them quite low, you will lose a lot of quality in the blur, even though that seems to go against what blurs are like, but it can be something that to keep in mind. Now, if we want to improve this and add an element of customization to the shader that we've got, we might want to add some saturation, some tints, something to amplify and customize the actual overall look of it. So what I'm going to do is right click and create a new node and use a node called saturation. You can see it here. Now what we need to do is add our screen blurred into the input. We can remove it from the fragment, so you can see that they're both connected here. Or we could create a new parameter here with a float, and I'm going to call this _saturation level, set it as a slider, and set the default value as 1, and min max of 0 and 1. Then what we'll do is we'll plug this into what we have now, and then you can add that to your base color. And if you do add this with your scene, you can see that we've created a saturation to remove it if we wanted to desaturate the overall look of our scene that we've got. And now from here, if we go back to our graph and we want to add something like a little tint to control the color, what we can do from there is we can right click on the graph itself, add a new node, and just add a multiply. We'll break the chain to the base color. We'll add the output of the saturation to the B channel. And from A, what we need to do is we want to create our own little tint. And the thing that I'm going to create to control the color is going to be a new one. And we're going to add a color, name that underscore tint. And the default value can just be the alpha all the way down. And we could just leave that as a sort of default value so it just doesn't get in the way by default. We can add that to the A channel of the multiply and then drag that into base color in itself. We can then save that out, go back into the game view. Now you can see the tint, and we can change this just as we could before, and you get the option within the game to adjust it based on this shader rather than changing the image information that we've got. I want to point out when they're using the image, you might not see post-processing in the background because as you can see, the post-processing is quite dark, and when it overlays, it doesn't actually render at the correct time. Now, if you want to make this a full screen render pass feature, you can create a brand new shader and do exactly the same thing. So you would right click it in your property panel, choose shader graph again, URP, and then choose a full screen shader graph, copy everything you want. So I've just got one called full screen. It's exactly the same setup as before. You'd create a new material, and I've just called this full screen blur and found it in the properties. I've gone to my PC High renderer, or whichever renderer that you're using, and I've added a component called a full screen pass render feature. And then I've added in my full screen blur material here. You can see the post-processing in my scene here. When I enable it, you can see that it looked like that it removed it. But what we could do is we can make sure on this drop down, which says the injection point is to before rendering post-processing, so we can actually see the distinction. So there you can see we can adjust everything that we need as we could before. And it becomes a full screen effect rather than something that's just on a UI. So I do hope you like this tutorial and it's something that you can use. So let me know what you think down below. Be sure to check out Unity sales on at the very moment and the free asset that's out right now. Be sure to throw a like on this video and make sure you subscribe because it helps me out massively. And do be sure to check out my Patreon too to get over 230 different scripts, assets and projects you cannot find anywhere else. Massive thank you to Verishoother and Party of 10 for their amazing support.